The bunch is going to be a bit different next year, eh? Like Sagan, Thibaut Pinot, Greg Van Avermaet. There's a little bit of a change in the guard gone. All those guys retiring.
Yeah, I was thinking that you think that the names that are not going to be there, it's those are the kind of guys that also would say things if they saw something's going wrong. I think of like Sagan, sort of he was probably more of like a patron of the Peloton, and we're kind of losing that now. I think I don't know who. I guess there's still a few older guys, but it's not. Yeah, it's a new generation, isn't it?
But like, are you losing it, or is it like? I'm not putting this on your shoulders, but you know, I remember even playing football, and you go from being the young guy to the experienced guy very fast. Like, you're not the newcomer now. You're a legit world tour rider now. Is it on your shoulders and your generation to step up a little bit more, and kind of the next Patreon's gonna come from your generation?
Yeah, I think that's a good point, a good way of putting it, because it's like, I'd say it's going to be. I think that I still feel like I'm a new rider, like, but I'm not. I've been doing this. I'm going into my 5th year of being a pro, which is definitely experienced, and it's just about stepping up to it. But I think it's a difficult thing to do, to, you know, and not a lot of guys actually. I would say actually do that, become those sort of captains, those leaders. They kind of almost keep themselves to themselves. But the ones that do that, you know, that's a successful. I aspire to be able to lead in that sort of way. I think rather than just going through the motions like other people. Not that that's the wrong thing to do, but it's, you know. It's a different.
It is kind of cool because,
approaches.
You know, it's a competitive sport, and you see a lot of people that come and they get one contract and that never works out for them. They drop down a level and then they just disappear. So you've obviously made it stick. You got that one contract, which turned into another contract. Now you're in your 5th or going into your 6th year. You're a legit world tour rider. So it is kind of cool to be able to reach a hand down and help others up and say, hey, you know that thing you done just there? You tried to move up on the grass and you almost took everyone out. It didn't go that bad. We've seen how it can go bad the odd time.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's a good example though. Like, I think it's weird that that's the role that I'm gonna sort of fall into. But I was speaking to Mate, and he's someone that he was doing it quite young. He would have been my age when I first joined the team, and roomed with him on the first training camp, and learned a lot from him, like talked to him a lot, and sort of absorbed as much information from him as I could. And I think, I can do the same. No, I'm in a position now where I can do the same. But still, it's still great because there's still enough older riders that you can still have. I still have riders to learn from. I still have to learn from the sports directors, whatever. But I still have enough experience that I can pass it on.
Mate's interview on the Tour de France when he won a stage this year, you know, this is what it means.
Yeah.
That was like one of the highlights of the season.
Oh, no, it was. But that's the thing as well with cycling. It's like you remember things like that as well. Like there's importance in how you present yourself, and like Mate's just won so many fans from that interview. It's unbelievable. And those fans might not necessarily know how many stages of the Tour he's won, but they'll just love him for the way he spoke about one of his victories.
Excuse the short interruption, but I wanted to find a way to bring our little community together, to problem solve, to share training advice, and to support each other in what can sometimes be a lonely road as we all chase health, happiness, and longevity through cycling. To facilitate this, I've set up a Discord channel. I'm going to leave a link in the description down below. It doesn't cost anything to join. It's totally free. Plus, I'm also picking out random winners for spot prizes inside the Discord channel. If you'd like to join it, click on the link down below. But I think this is why we're in a really cool era with cycling now, because we're getting so many more guys like you who are either starting their own podcasts or jumping on guesting podcasts or starting vlogs. And we're actually getting to know the riders. Like even Evan Nepal now with his own vlog. I didn't really like Evan Nepal before that vlog, I have to say, for no reason, because that's just me being an arsehole. I never met the guy, never talked to the guy. But I just looked at him and said, he looks like an arrogant little prick. And I watched the vlog and I was like, I actually think he's a bit of a dude. I like this guy. And it totally changed my opinion of him just off the back of that vlog. So I think we're in this purple patch now where we're really getting to know riders, and it's helping the sport a lot because I'm invested in their journey now. Like I had you in my fantasy Tour de France team this year. You kind of fucked me over a few times, but we're not going to talk about that right now. But you know what I mean? Like I was rooting for you because you had me, because you've been on the podcast, and I feel like I know you.
Yeah, but that's so important. And I kind of, just in the past 2 years, I see the value in that, and I see what coming on podcasts, or maybe in the future creating my own podcast or whatever, that people being able to relate to you and to sort of listen to your story and listen to and just know how you are as a person makes it, because ultimately I've only won one bike race, but I've kind of,
it was a humdinger.
Yeah, it was, but I haven't been maybe quite as successful as I've wanted to be yet, but I still got quite, I feel like I've amassed a good amount of people that spend their time cheering me on, getting into breakaways or in the classics or whatever. Like I've built up a nice fan base from just basically just speaking what's on my mind in interviews, and I think that's as a result of people relating to me. I guess I don't know why it is, but yeah.
Before we move on from all the retirements, Nathan Van Hooydonk's one and his heart condition. Is there any whispers in the peloton? What's going on with this heart stuff? Obviously, Sonny Colbrelli, teammate of yours a couple of years ago. I've been watching sport for my whole life, and it's like footballers are dropping, cyclists are dropping. Like there's something weird going on. I don't know if it's post-COVID vaccines, if it's even related to that. I don't know. Is there any whispers in the bunch as to what's going on?
I'm really not sure whether it's, I've got no idea whether it's COVID related or not. I just know personally there's a great sort of charity in the UK that called Cardiac Risk in the Young, and they test sportsmen or young sports people to make sure that they don't have any underlying heart conditions that could just surprise them from doing sport in the future. And I think it's, so I at the age of sort of 16 I did various tests and got the all clear, and I wonder if I don't know. So for me, I trust that my heart's healthy, and touch wood, nothing's gonna happen from a personal experience, but I don't know. Yeah, I have no idea what this. I wonder whether it's just things that have been undiagnosed, or
no one's too alarmed with it. There's not much talk about it. I think
there's definitely going to be more tests, more sort of heart related tests. Like we, every year you're on training camp doing. It's not like, I think it's not like you don't do the tests basically, but
I had a weird one this year.
I don't know if they really know what it is.
If you enjoyed this little clip from the podcast, you can check out full episodes of the podcast on any podcast platform, Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Also, you can click up here for another video that I know you're going to love. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. See you next day.